Thanks very much, Prime Minister, and on behalf of all Victorians, can I thank the Prime Minister and his colleagues for the partnership that we have. It's a strong partnership. It's all about keeping people safe, providing relief to people who need it, and then that long, challenging journey of recovery and rebuilding. It's made a little easier by the fact that all governments are working together. So, PM, thank you so much for being here today. And I think nothing beats seeing firsthand and being in important incident control centres like the one at Bendigo today, where you can look people in the eye and ask them whether they have everything. Both the Prime Minister and I did that, and we're very pleased to be able to say that systems are working well, everyone's working together. There's a really positive, although it's a challenging time, but there's a really positive sense of partnership right across all of our agencies. And again, can I join with the Prime Minister in thanking every single member of our career staff, volunteers, and many more beyond who don't necessarily wear a uniform but work very hard in their own local communities to keep people safe. I've got a number of things I want to run through, and then I'm going to hand to Tim Weebush, who will take you through that kind of call of the card right across the state. Obviously, we have taken steps in partnership with the Commonwealth Government to stand up the Mickleham Centre, so the former quarantine centre. It's got 250 beds, and we have done a power of work over recent days in partnership with the Commonwealth so that we can be ready to take residents to move into that facility in the next few days. We'll provide meals to each and every one of those people, 3 meals a day. They'll be able to access healthcare, both physical and mental health care, 24/7. There'll be co-located services like Centrelink and other wraparound services provided by the state government so that families can have everything that they need at a very difficult time. It's a stressful time for kids, we know, and there'll be particular activities and supports that are targeted towards those youngest members of the community impacted by these floods. And we'll also work very hard to provide all the other supports that people might need. Obviously, a roof over your head in this difficult time is very important, but there'll be other things that need hard work, and we'll make sure that we focus on that as well. In terms of families who can't get back into their homes and want to be connected to that, Mickleham as an accommodation option, I'd simply say if you ring 1800 560 760, then we're more than happy to talk you through those options. And indeed, there'll be similar processes on the ground reaching out into communities where it would seem they're not going to get back home for an extended period. Mickleham becomes a relevant option. Just very quickly, we have 13 relief centres open across the state. We've got 10 aircraft up in the air today doing everything from damage assessments through to providing supplies and important equipment to otherwise isolated communities, doing rescue work as well. Those communities in different locations that are cut off, getting in there and giving people the practical assistance that they need. There remains 55 sandbag collection points across the state. 355 roads remain closed. In more recent developments, we've got about 6,000 properties around the Mooroopna area that are without power. Teams are working as hard as they can, but obviously rising floodwaters there and a real challenge to Kialla, Mooroopna, Shepparton, Murchison as well. There's a really significant challenge there, just the volume of water and the levels that it's reaching. But Tim will go to that in a moment, but there are 6,000 properties without power, and everyone's doing their level best to get the power back on as quickly as possible and to support those power-dependent residents. On emergency payments, those that we've talked you through these last few days, I can now confirm that there's 9,290 Victorians who have applied for those one-off payments. That's for people who are out of their home. That's for people who need whether it be shelter, food, clothing, medicine, all of those very practical things. That process is working well. We're moving staff from different call centres across government. We're moving staff from different departments to process those claims as quickly as we possibly can so that that money is with people who are doing it very tough as fast as possible. I will just again remind people, emergencypayments.dffh.vic.gov.au or 1800 226 226 if you want information and if you want to begin the process of applying for that grant. It's just over $2,000 for eligible families and is all about those very practical matters that people need support with at this time. Now I'm going to ask Tim Weebush to go through a number of different flood affected communities and update you on what we think the trends are, what's going to happen over these next couple of days, and then we're all of us happy to take any questions that you may have. There's a number of other issues like school, exams, all manner of practical matters, waste disposal, all of those sorts of issues. We're going to come back to those most likely tomorrow and try and give you a really clear update on as many of those matters as we can. I just wanted to finish off the top by saying that the government has determined to provide a $500,000 grant as a rapid first step to the 24 local government areas that are affected by these floods. That's $500,000 per local council. That's the first step. There'll be more to come, and there'll be different amounts of money and different programs that are run for many weeks to come. But this is an initial grant of $500,000. We'll waste no time in paying that out. And it's all about making sure that councils who are doing it tough, particularly in those worst affected communities, we don't want finances to be a limiting factor on them being able to step in and provide the care and support, the recovery, and of course the clean-up and rebuilding that we know is so important. Back to the Prime Minister's earlier point, national government, state government, local government, all working together. That's how we keep people safe, and that's how we recover from what is a record-breaking flood event.